Senator Kaine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of my colleagues have used this as an opportunity to kind of poke at Build Back Better, so let me tell you why I'm such a strong supporter of it. I don't think it's about growing government at all. We're doing an infrastructure bill that's bipartisan. That's fantastic. Both of you in your capacities with DOL will have work to do. Who's going to build the infrastructure? I mean, I'm looking at an awful lot of newspaper articles right now that say we can't hire school bus drivers, we can't hire truck drivers. There's incredibly tight labor markets right now. Who's going to build the infrastructure? If we make an infrastructure investment like that's once in a generation, we don't have the workforce to do it, we will have really missed this huge opportunity. Let's look at Build Back Better. It is significant in terms of training today and tomorrow's workforce. The investments in child care help people get back into the workforce. The investments in pre-K help get people back into the workforce. The investments in community college and career and technical education and workforce development programs help expand a workforce that can do what we want to do with the bipartisan infrastructure bill. The immigration reform components of Build Back Better help us with the workforce. Child tax credit doesn't grow government. It puts dollars in the hands of families who have children. Doesn't grow government at all. It's about helping families. Funding for child care and pre-K doesn't grow government because this is a mixed delivery model. If church-based child care is high quality, they're going to be able to get assistance to do an even better job or educate more kids. So I look at the Build Back Better bill as a necessary component to the infrastructure bill to create the workforce of today and tomorrow that will enable us to do it. And overwhelmingly, the Build Back Better components are support directly to families, and especially families with children, not growing agencies. And that's why I'm so excited about it. Look, it's going to undergo some sandpapering and changing and all of that, but at the core, this is about having the workforce that we need to be competitive, to help people get good jobs, be competitive globally. I want to ask you, Ms. Gomez, you've had an interesting experience because you were a legislator, state legislator. Your position at ETA will require you to work with a lot of stakeholders. So talk to me about your work as a legislator and what you did in a partisan environment in your state legislature to build bridges across partisan aisles and involve stakeholders in the work that you were doing.
I think I will turn that over to Mr. Rodriguez.
Oh, he was the legislator, sorry about that.
No worries.
Yes, sir. No, thank you. Thank you for the question, Senator. And as Ms. Gomez also mentioned, the ranking member did talk about working together on economic relief, on infrastructure, as you mentioned. And I think that if confirmed, I would be, looking at my record of service in Florida, I believe that I would bring a track record of working across party and ideological lines. Those of us who do so out of a commitment to those who entrusted us to serve. And, I would mention that I mentioned the reform of our jobs programs, other economic issues that required bipartisan collaboration. At the local level, working with our local workforce board and, local chambers of commerce, especially during the early days of the pandemic to help promote layoff aversion programs that really work. And I'm proud of some of the letters of support, that were submitted to this committee include both labor and industry. And I think that to me, I'm very honored by that because, that type of collaboration and work is what the American people demand and I think will move the agenda forward. And as you mentioned, fundamentally Building Back Better is about a more competitive, more fair, and more resilient economy post-pandemic. And again, if confirmed, I'd be honored to join that mission.
Just one last comment that is something that we have to grapple with, and some of my colleagues have mentioned this. When Congress did this dramatic expansion of the UI program, enhanced benefits, extra weeks of benefits, but especially the expanded universe of people who could qualify for UI, there was fraud in the program in most states, and most of the fraud came in that third category when we as Congress demanded that states expand to cover the self-employed and the independent contractor and the part-time gig worker. We needed to do that during COVID, but sadly, a lot of people, tried to get over on us, and we need to enforce against them. However, I do think we do have significant reforms to do going forward to make sure our UI universe extends to cover the way people work today. My colleague, Senator Warner, always points out that the traditional UI system only covers about a third or 35% of people who work today because they work in different ways. And with appropriate safeguards and with appropriate financing mechanisms, we need to figure out a way to have a UI system that is designed for the way people work today, not for the way people worked 50 years ago. And I would look forward to working together with both of you on that important and challenging project should you be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Marshall.
Yep, thank you, Madam